landings that I've gone through and learned through and grown through over the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years. I began with Coco Chanel YSL. I still use that name when I'm doing photo shoots or artistic pieces. And then I kind of transferred into more of an administrative, clerical, staffing, HR, administration vibe for the brand, meaning what administration can I offer to you? In the middle of that change, Dylan Smith, who was my ex, we were engaged to be married with a prenuptial agreement, and he was supposedly going to inherit millions and change my life. The reason this is relevant is because if you've been a fan the entire time you've been watching this, most of this you watched on my original Instagram, Coco Chanel YSL, which was at about 67,000 followers, all organic before I quit using Instagram. I stopped using Instagram for 3 or 4 months around the time that I stopped selling content and doing other digital content, and I just kind of left everything frozen. Then Love After Lockup came out, and when Love After Lockup aired, all of my fans were like, what the fuck just happened? Basically, Dylan began cheating on me with someone who was accused of or known to have robbed my home at 5245. So at the 52 home, and I refer to them by the first 2 number prefixes because there are so many, and if you know, you know. But at that home, I came home from a weekend that was absolutely very corrupted, the weekend of David Shepard grabbing me off of the street and telling me that if I did not steal a computer from Jordan Lott, that he would have me arrested and take my kids to the DCFS. And I was a full-time medical office worker at that time, 6 years of experience at Northwestern Hospital, 4 years of experience at Loyola Midwest Center for Health, Suburban Medical Group, and many others. And then I was working as an office manager at a place called Affinity Optical on Narragansett and Irving in Chicago. If you know, you know. Now, when I stopped working as an office manager, it was 100% because of the corruption, because of the exploitation, and because of the fact that this detective, David Shepard, was forcing me to steal this computer. Fast forward to 2025, David Shepard has lost his job from Chicago as well as Robbins, Illinois, and is being accused of something, I don't even know what, but has filed countersuit against the police jurisdiction for wrongful termination. He is saying that he's a whistleblower being unlawfully and unethically targeted, that they have made him lose his job for unethical reasons. And I have, some inclination to believe him. I myself have been targeted in many, many ways. I did deliver that computer to David Shepard in 2016, and I told Dylan what I was doing. Dylan and Jordan were together before Dylan went to prison. Now, when Dylan came home, and this was supposedly all white collar, but I was misled and lied to a lot along the way, abused a lot significantly along the way in ways that most of you will never even know exists. And I'm going to withhold the details on that for another video, just for time and because it makes me distraught and I have work this afternoon. But the harassment that took place online following the reality show, law enforcement already supposedly squashed that. Virtual Law, Heather v. Law, HLGVLAWA, VLAW, those are my children's first initials in sequence from the years they were born. Viviana first, Lewis second, Alexis third, and Weston last. V Law. This was supposed to have been resolved in 2022. The harassment, the posting tents and teeth and telling me to kill myself, all of that was ruled to be unlawful and illegal, and it was not supposed to be permitted online or anywhere else anymore. But you could see from the comments that they don't give a fuck. So to keep things correct, I've done absolutely zero to anyone. All I've ever done is help people. The people who were stuck in this situation, I've cooked dinners for. I've allowed to live in my home temporarily. I have helped every single person that I can afford to help, and then some. So in 2020, after Dylan's release and after the show Love After Lockup aired, I was unlawfully, after going for order of protection and being denied, I was unlawfully thrown out of my own home where I lived with my 3 children, Viviana, Lewis, and Alexis, in Roscoe Village, Chicago. From there, I was literally left outdoors to be raped, to be robbed for many, many, many thousands of dollars, and to basically fight for my life. Xavier came to retrieve me from an undercover officer who had me in a safe house called the Franklin Park Penthouse, and I was in another safe house before that. When Xavier came to get me, the first thing out of his mouth was that his brother was the district attorney for the state of Illinois, Carlos Montoya, and that he was here to help me and protect me. He took me to another safe house, the Stone Street address. Now, since that time, and there's a whole bunch that went on in there that, you know, I'm writing about in the novel and that I'm publishing and that I've been desperately seeking the assistance of attorneys and law enforcement for. But to this day, I've probably called about 1,000 different attorneys and law enforcement agents as well as detectives. And there's been no follow-up at all whatsoever. I call and call and call and I get nowhere with these people. But since that time, since Xavier and I broke up, since Xavier and I, met each other, he began a romantic relationship with me. And basically I have been, for lack of a better way to explain, fighting for my life, my freedom, my physical safety, and for my right to say I don't want to have sex with a man when he demands that I do. I have literally been thrown out of my home, out of my safe place, forced to engage in behaviors that otherwise I would never even have knowledge of, because I've said no to exchanging sexual favors with these men. This was supposed to have been resolved. When I started documenting all of this in 2020, I never thought that in 2025, I would be sitting here going through it all again. It seems like they've begun to take a play-by-play from my old videos of what I've recorded that has been done to me. And they're basically reenacting those same kinds of things.
Meet Ruggable. We made the original washable rug. Rugs, runners, doormats, and even bath mats.
And they're basically reenacting those same kinds of things. So they're just kind of curating the same thing to take place over and over and over and over again. And it's not entertaining, and it's not legal, and it's not ethical, and it's not morally acceptable. So I've had an apartment now for about 1.5 years. I moved into a hotel for about 6 months. And that's after Weston was born. But let's go back. So I met Xavier. I only had 3 children. They were all pretty much grown up, from the point of not needing bottles or things like that. They were self-sufficient in the way that they could wake up, dress themselves, feed themselves, and you had to get them to school and stuff. But they were 6, 14, and 13. Now they're 19, 17, and 12. And then Weston is 18 months old. I was not looking for a boyfriend. I was never looking for a boyfriend. I was 1,000%, without any question, used, abused, exploited, human trafficked, and raped multiple times to this day with no resolution. There are police reports, but no one seems to fucking care. They're putting me in the same situations that they put me in back then, again now, after literally 18 months of not having those issues. They have used people who are willing to suck people's dicks for amnesty or, I don't know, to get out of jail free cards, and have literally allowed these women to perform oral sex on many of the people around me. My suspicion is Xavier as well, in exchange for preferential treatment in dealing with what's going on with my situation, specifically and namely Weston. Getting paid jobs surrounding the DCFS in exchange for sexual favors, and more and more. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. I've completed everything I'm supposed to complete, and I've been requested by the court to not discuss the judicial process. Even if it's in an attempt to gain money, raise money for my defense or the defense of my child. We're in the United States of America in 2025. I've officially been referred to by the court as a public figure for having such a public following and life. Now, I have withheld so much. And the things you probably think this is a horror movie. There's no way this could be real. It's all real. Everything I've said has been real. I do not want to create content that's based around the way I've been traumatized. I do not want to have a public social media following that's based on all of the unlawful, corrupt things that have been done to me. I've created hours, thousands of hours of beauty content, of performer content, of mom content, of all sorts of content. They keep on grabbing me around my neck and forcing me by threat of taking my infant son to create content like this. When I stop creating content of victimization, all of it's real. None of it is fake. Everything that I've said is real. Xavier promised me that he was going to protect me from whatever type of corruption was going on as a result of me reporting Dylan and attempting to get my apartment back. And then it just turned into him getting me pregnant while on birth control, like some fucking disgusting Jerry Springer show. I have never been white trash. I'm not claiming to be better than anyone. I just have morals and values that don't align with that type of person or thinking or behavior. Yes, I'm fully aware that if you stand on my neck, you can get me to do anything in an effort to breathe. It's the same with every human being that there is. We don't need to continue to reenact that or force people to behave in uncharacteristic ways by stepping on their necks. This is fucking bullshit. It's 2025. All of the little passive aggressive abuses, all of the little baiting, badgering, and other setups are all coming again because someone thinks that it's my responsibility as the victim after being raped, robbed for everything I have, my Cadillac being stolen and sold at auto auction, left outdoors to be assaulted, having my medication stolen for 2 years, getting physically assaulted 8 or 9 times in that period. I've never been the aggressor, getting stabbed, getting bludgeoned. Someone thinks that's not enough for me to finally deserve peace. Someone thinks that because of those things, it should be my responsibility to be targeted by this abuse again so that others can observe and make some sort of judgment about the way that I'm being treated or reacting to said abuse, or the way that the world needs to be handled because of the abuse and the comments and the lies and the fucking bullshit that's coming in. Let me make you aware. I had a digital team. All of the harassment stopped when I had a digital team. They caught wind that they can continue to make this abuse go on, whether it's bots or a paid account or just some fucking losers sitting in a storage closet, that they can continue to abuse me, and that my pain and suffering and tears and my son being stolen, held hostage by the fucking DCFS and all this other shit that's going on, that will be enough to put a foot on someone with money's neck so that they will pay another digital team to stop what is going on in the comments right now. This is another form of extortion. Find someone else to do it to. My work schedule is 2 to 10. For the last week, I have been physically and psychologically manipulated, bullied, harassed, or otherwise prevented from doing my job from 2 to 10. And I have been literally working from like 5 to 1 in the morning. I'm exhausted. Then I have to come to the DCFS office to see my baby, and I have 3 other children. It seems to me like people are fucking forgetting what my life looks like when they think that what they have done for me now is acceptable. I work 7 out of 7 days of the week. I'm not lazy. I'm not unwilling. I work 7 out of 7 days of the week. That should be more than enough money to pay a studio apartment rent, car payment, and pay for her children to have clothing. But it's not. It hasn't been. No one, not the FDIC, not the FBI, and not local law enforcement have responded in any way, shape, or form to my bank accounts being intentionally underdrafted with both PNC as well as Wintrust in the last 3 months. Despite the fact that I've paid everything on time, someone has gone into my account and taken nearly $2,000. Someone stole $1,500 from my income tax return before it ever even hit my bank account. So just in this year alone, we're talking about $5,000 cash that's been stolen from me. And this is on the heels of 8 or 9 years of being victimized by the same fucking fraud and scams and abuse. I would like everyone in the comments harassing me to be indicted. I would like everyone who has been aware of this problem ongoing. You could just scroll back in my YouTube because we all know there's liability here. I've been recording this for going into 6 years now. The offensive, abusive slander and commentary has got to go. The digital team I hired already put all of these offensive emojis and language in the not allowed list so that I didn't need a moderator, and someone who hacked my account went back in and removed it from the preferences. Not just once, not just twice, not just 3 or 4 or 5 times, but like a million fucking times. So that means there's literally not just a person, but a bunch of people who have no lives, no ambitions, no children, no families who love them, nothing to fucking do other than dedicate their life to going in my comments saying ignorant shit. And I have been reporting this, as well as the break-ins, as well as the other abuse, for almost 10 years. And the first 5 years of those 10 were all documented on a recorded line through the state of Illinois, through the prison system, because my ex-husband, Dylan Smith, inmate number Y12173, was in prison, and we spoke 6 times a day, every day minimum. So everything that I need to document where I've been and what's been going on, I have. Where the fuck is the advocacy?
Step into a market of fresh financial options curated with you in mind, like bright credit card offers with sweet perks.
The advocacy. I would like this to be over before it fucking begins. I am great at a ton of things. If you guys need help with analytics, if you need help with social media management, if you need help with anything, any administrative task, any sort of organizing, essay preparation, any sort of brainstorming or idea mapping, any sort of copyright, placeholder text, anything that you need with regards to writing or admin, I can create for you. I could use ChatGPT to help me. And I am going to be rolling out a new checkout page so that you can order directly without even having to interact with me or text me, solely through the website, so that there is no risk for whatever this is that's following me around. Now, I think it's also very important to mention that while I was bartending at Spin Chicago, someone came into my bar and plastered the bar with a bunch of stickers of QR codes with my face on them that lead to blogs talking shit about me. Then they posted a video, multiple videos, on their own YouTube page of me serving drinks. So clearly that tells me that whoever's been stalking me, harassing me, they came to my job. You know who they are. They have a YouTube account. They posted video of me at my workplace. Still, no direct contact from police, no communication, no plan, no protection, no nothing. Nothing. And since that time, I had to switch my job to a driving job so that no one could follow me and post shit about me that is or isn't true and try to destroy my life. I have already gone above and beyond. I have already taken probably years off of my life dealing with this fucking shit. I am asking again for the authority to get back involved, because everything that you guys have already resolved is happening again in front of your eyes. I work 7 out of 7 days a week and have for the last at least 9 months. Before I was driving Uber, I was driving Lyft. Before I was driving Lyft, I was bartending. If I wasn't on the clock at work at Spin, I was fucking working somewhere else, cleaning my house, going grocery shopping, making baskets for the kids. I don't have lazy days. Go and fucking find someone else to bother, to harass, to steal from. My goal is the same today as it was 2020, as it was 2019. Expose everyone for the fucking frauds that they are. Let everyone who's had any fucking hand to play in separating me from my children and preventing me from being able to support my family financially, putting them in their places, respectively and accordingly, and then getting where I was going in 2020, which is out of the